a.m., man. That's my bad. My bad. I don't know why I set this up on the King on the BOA channel, man. Maybe it's meant for me to run both of them together. So let's go ahead and do it, man. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm glad. I mean, I'm just really looking at the chat, man. Y'all said something earlier, man. I'm glad y'all saw it, but we here. We here. Let's do it. So, what's the first question? And these are questions that don't be hard on yourself and badger yourself if the answer to some of these questions isn't what you wanted to be. You need to know the answer to these questions so you can know what you need to adjust. You need to know what you need to adjust. So the first question I'm going to ask, the first question you have to ask yourself, why do I care about what people think about me? See, I can tell you, don't worry about what people care about you. A lot of people can tell you that. Don't worry about what people care about you. Don't think about what people care about you. I don't want to tell you that. I want to ask you, why do you care what people think about you? What's the purpose in even caring what people think about you? Do you care because these people are, these are influential people that you need to have in your corner so you can make it to the next level in life? Are these people who have the wisdom, understanding, knowledge that you need in order to elevate your own thinking, your own outlook on life? Or are these people that you don't even know? Social media likes and comments, compliments from people, people telling you how great you are. Do you need somebody to make you feel good about yourself because you feel so terribly about yourself? Do you need somebody to date you so you can feel worthy? Does the way people feel about you affect the way you feel about yourself in a negative manner or a positive manner? It shouldn't affect you at all. Because the bottom line is, you know yourself better than anyone else does. So just the fact that you know yourself better than anyone else, even your parents, they don't know you as well as you know yourself. When you were a little kid, maybe, but now as an adult, at the time you became an adult, they lost their knowledge of you. Because by that point, you realize you only share with them what they need to know. It's a need to know situation. You don't just share with them all willy-nilly. So you have to ask yourself, why do you care what people say about you? Yes, listen, if you're in business, if you're a content creator, yes, the likes and comments, they matter because you're growing a content creation business. And as a man who can say, I have a content creation business or two, I can speak about the content creation from a business perspective. Yes, if you want to grow, then people have to resonate with what you do, or what you do has to resonate with people. They have to be able to identify with it. But beyond that, we're talking about you just posting a picture of where you are and being happy that people liked it. We're talking about you posting a picture of how you look and being happy that people liked it. Here's the thing about that. If you know you look good, then why does people responding to it in a positive matter to you so much? When the Most High spoke to Moses, and he said, hey, man, I want you to go in there. I want you to go tell the people this. He said, well, why me, God? I can't even talk that good. Why you want me to do it? Why not somebody else? I can't talk that good. These people ain't going to listen to me. They don't even like the way I talk. They ain't going to even like me. They don't want to pay no attention to me. Why don't you pick somebody else to do this? I don't want to do this. So he said, okay, I want you to get your brother Aaron. Bring your brother Aaron over here. He's an eloquent speaker. Aaron can speak very well. Aaron, go tell the people. I tell you what the people tell, what I want the people to know. You tell Aaron, he go speak to the people. But when Aaron want to come back and he want to communicate to me what the people said, then you be in between me and Aaron come tell you, then you come talk to me. Because it don't matter how you talk, I can understand you. I'm God. So what did Aaron do? Moses went up in the mountain with the Most High. He stayed up in there 40 days. You know what Aaron said? Aaron said, hey, the people say, I don't know what's going to happen to that brother, man. He gone. We don't know what. You need to make us a god right now. You need to make us a god. We're going to break off our earring. You make us another god. You make us a calf. You make us a cow. And if you didn't know, in ancient Egypt, they thought cows were holy. So that's why they made a golden calf and not anything else. Not a bird, not a monkey, not a man, not a plane, not a tree. That's why they made a golden calf, because cows were holy. Well, that was the perception of cows. But he did that because the people pressed on him. Even though he knew his brother Moses had told him, hey, look, man, I'm going up here with the Most High, man. You go ahead and talk to the people. He was like, nah, man, I can't listen to that. Hell, I don't know where y'all at either. So let me do what y'all want me to do before y'all do something to me. That's Aaron's situation was he feared losing his life. The people could do something to him. The people were threatening to hurt him. Moses, on the other hand, he ain't thinking. He was just talking about the people didn't like him. So you got to ask yourself, how much do you care about what people think about you? How much do you care? How much do you care about what people think, about what you believe? When BOA talks about the P principles, man, a whole bunch, man, that's a dirty lifestyle. Man, we ain't talking about that. We're talking about applying things to your life that work in particular situations. Second question. Is the life you want for yourself actually the life you want for yourself? Or is it the life that someone has told you is best for you? If you're in college right now, are you in college because your mama and daddy told you to go, but you want to be doing something else? Or are you in college because you wanted to go, but you're majoring in something that your mama and daddy told you to do? Are you following in your daddy's footsteps? Are you doing, let me tell you something. I want y'all to understand this now. The only way you can follow in your father's footsteps is if he got something to pass down to you. If he ain't got nothing to pass down to you, he ain't got no business trying to dictate what you do in life. If he got a law firm and he wants you to go in the law, he got something for you. If he wants you to go and get he wants you to become a mason, a brick mason, and he has a construction business. Cool. He wants you to become an architect. He has an architecture firm. Yes, there it is. Any of these things. If he wants you to become a dentist and he has a few dental offices scattered around the city, that's fine. If he wants you to become a farmer and he's got a farm, that's fine. But if he is doing one thing and then try to dictate to you something else you do, then you being a fool to listen to a man who telling you to be something that he's not even being. At a certain point, you have to ask yourself, why am I building this life? Because you're the one got to live it. Whatever you do, whatever you decide, you're the one who has to deal with it. So you got to ask yourself, is the life you live the one you built for yourself, or the one you simply exist in for others' benefit or approval? Because let me tell you the one thing that parents will do, man, grandparents, parents, anybody you allow to, really, they'll live vicariously through you. They'll want you to complete the things that they couldn't complete in their life so they could take some of the glory because they raised you or they helped you or they taught you or any of these things. Man, at a certain point in life, you got to ask yourself, why am I here? Am I here to impress other people? Or am I here to live the life that I was put here to live? And whoever's impressed by that, let them be impressed by it. Whoever's not impressed by it, let them not be impressed by it. The one thing we can't do is try to live our lives in a way that we're concerned about who's impressed and who's not impressed. Because when it all boils down, does it really matter who's impressed? Does it really matter in your life who's impressed? Because one thing I found out about impressing people, people will be impressed by something you do now. And then they'll come across someone who's not impressed by it. And then suddenly they're not that impressed by it. Only person I have to impress in my life is me. I have to be satisfied with what I'm doing. I have to be satisfied with where I'm going. I have to be satisfied with how I'm moving. And that satisfaction is based on how I know that's going to affect my relationship with the Most High, period. Listen, you can have all the money in the world, but still not have peace of mind. And you may say money is more important than peace of mind. It's because you never had peace of mind. Once you have peace of mind, then you don't put anything over peace of mind as far as value in your life, as far as significance in your life. And I think that's one of the main things that we have to take into consideration when we're looking out into the world and deciding what decisions we're going to make with our lives. The decisions you make in your life have to be best for you. And I'm not saying other people can't benefit from the decisions you make in your life. Of course that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if that's how you're going to live your life, then you must live your life that way on purpose. You have to live a life, and you have to start young. Don't wait. If you're in your 20s, 30s, even 40s now, whatever you are, don't wait until it's too late, until you've burnt yourself out, because we've all only got so much work in us. We've all only got, you know why we've only got so much work in us? Let's break it all the way down. We've only got so much work in us because we've only got so much breath in us. Eventually, you're going to stop breathing. And what we found out is people who work the hardest, like people who work themselves the hardest. I'm not talking about working smart and hard. I'm talking about people who just grind and wear themselves down. Those people tend to live shorter lives. Why? Because there's only so much work in you. There's only so much work in you until you need a break. Even when the Most High created the world, He worked 6 days, and the seventh day He rested. Now, if He need to rest after 6 days, what make you think you don't need to rest? You know, ask yourself, are the elders of your family living vicariously through you, or are you using their established connection to follow a similar path because that's where your passion lies? Whatever you're doing in life, are you doing it because you want to do it? I was reading a story about a guy, man. He was a doctor for like 25 years. And then he decided he wanted to be something else. I can't even remember exactly what he decided he wanted to be, but he was a doctor for 25 years. And then he just decided he wanted to be something else in his 40s. But you have the right to do that. Don't live in such fear that you're afraid to make adjustments in your life. Because you got to think about the time before you had any level of success. The one thing you did not function in was fear. You did not function in fear because you had nothing to lose. So what you got to understand is this: you always have nothing to lose. You keep living the life you were living before you had. Now, I'm not saying be wild and be out there acting crazy and foolish. No, I'm saying you have the same drive, determination, willpower, and willingness to take chances to move forward as you did before you had anything. Because the one thing that I can assure you of is that the same way you didn't have anything to lose and you kept grinding and you built things, you have nothing to lose just because you have stuff. Never look at the blessings that you have as something to lose. Now, you can give them away if you just piddle them away and act crazy with them and just waste them and do all of that. But you can't just lose them because you continue to take the same type of risk and continue to focus on the same things and continue to grind the same way. You can't lose them based on that. When you have blessings, you have to actively try to lose them. They don't just go away. The number 3 question you got to ask yourself: do you exist in truth? Are you honest with yourself, about life, about the people around you, and about the world at large? Are you open and honest with yourself to a to the point where you can live in truth? Because the bottom line is, if you're not living in truth, none of these other things matter. If you're not living in truth, nothing you do is affecting the truth of life. Nothing you do is affecting your progress. Nothing you do is affecting the process of your progress. Nothing you do is affecting your ability to become the best version of yourself, because you're not even living in truth. The foundation of truth is knowing you. Knowledge of self is the first form of knowledge. So ask yourself, are you living in truth? Because if you're letting other people make decisions for you, or making decisions based on what other people think, or other people say, or other people need, or other people want, if the majority of your decisions in life are based on that, then you're not living in truth. The number of things you decide for yourself indicates the level of truth in which you exist, or the level of knowledge. Sometimes you live in as much truth as you can, but it's a low level of truth because you haven't ascertained the proper level of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge in your life. There's a bunch of things we could waste time on, but the thing is this right here, man. Ask yourself this. I'll give you some examples. If you know for a fact you're not trying to be in a committed relationship, why do you ever listen to relationship content? Why do you ever listen to people talk about relationships if that ain't what you want? If you don't race and you don't drive fast cars, why you ever looking at car content? Simple things. If you're not gonna need no likes, no comments, and send no money, why are you looking at girls acting up on social media, online? Why are you doing that? A subtopic, a sub question to the third question. Do you understand how valuable time is? Do you even understand how valuable time is? Do you even care how valuable time is? Does it even matter to you how valuable time is? Do you understand that your time is limited? Not just your lifetime, daily. Daily, your time is limited. There's only so much you can go before your brain starts to shut down. There's only so far you can go before physically you start to shut down. You need to rest everything and start over. You only have so many hours in the day to be effective. Now, you can work all day and all night, but you're not going to be effective all of those hours. So the only time that matters is the effective time, the time when you can be your most effective and efficient. The moment that starts to wane and the quality of your output starts to lower, then you have to know that's rest time. Automatically, that's rest time. We're not talking about doing anything else. We're talking about that's rest time. That's time for you to say, okay, it's time for me to shut it down and get ready for the next one. Because it doesn't matter if you need to be working at 100% capacity. At the moment you're working at 90, you're not even being effective anymore. You're wasting time. You're wasting time. Because if you're going to work 10 hours in a day, it's better to work 10 hours where you're getting it in, because every hour after that, you're losing money, you're losing time, you're losing quality, you're losing effectiveness, you're losing efficiency, you're losing everything that you're set up to gain. And I'm not just talking about business, I'm talking about every facet of life. It's kind of like when people stay up all night and then say, man, I can't miss no workout. Bro, if I stay up all night, which I don't do, unless I'm having one of them insomnia episodes, man. But if you don't stay up all night, if you stay up all night, bro, you're crazy to be trying to go to the gym the next morning. Go to the gym in the evening that day. But everybody got to stick to such a routine that people don't even understand the value of resting the things you need to use every day. People don't even get it. They act like it doesn't matter, but it matters. So if you value your time, that doesn't mean you never rest, you never sleep, you never do any of that. When you value your time, that means that you understand that you need to be the most effective and efficient you can be, so you can use your time wisely, so you can get the value for your time that you need to get. And at the moment you can't get the proper value for your time, shut it down. Get everything back up to par. So every time you're working, everything you're involved in, you need to be as effective and efficient as possible. If you structure your life that way, and then when you run into big business opportunities to do major things, you're giving it your best effort. Let me tell y'all something, man. When I show up somewhere to work, I'm the first one up every time. It don't matter where I'm going. Whoever I'm finna work with, it don't matter. My feet on the floor and I'm ready to go. And if you ain't up, I'm knocking on your door. Hey, let's get it, man. Let's get it. But also, when I'm working, I'm not finna go hang out all night. So we're gonna do work we got to do today. We may kick it, grab a bite and whatever. Then I'm finna go shut it down, because you know what? I'm gonna be up early on you again the next day at the door. Let's get it, man. It's time. That's how I do. Because one thing you're never gonna be able to say, I outwork King Ray Ray. I outwork BOA. You're never going to be able to say that. You can say whatever you want to say. You're not going to be able to say, I outwork BOA, I outwork King Ray Ray. When we got to show up somewhere, if I ain't the first one there, most times I'm the first one there. I mean, sometimes you run across somebody, they be the early bird get the worm. They be trying to get the worms too. But I'm never the last one there. I'm never holding up progress. I'm never holding it up. I'm there chilling, waiting with time to marinate, time to chill. Bro, I'm going to show up at least 30 minutes before everything get kicking. If I'm scheduled to come through and do an interview, you know what I'm going to do? If the interview's scheduled for 3 p.m., bro, I'm pulling up at the spot at 2:30. So when you get there, you're 15 minutes early, I'm already there. And if I really ain't got nothing to do, I'm there an hour early. Man, listen, boy, I can sit in the car and work on content. I'll sit in the car and take a quick power nap. There's things that I can do, but whatever I do, I'm gonna be where I'm supposed to be. Why? Because that's how I value time. Time is meant to be applied in an effective way, because remember this, none of us has time to waste. None of us has time to waste. Next question you got to ask yourself. Are you rich or just trying to look rich? Are you rich or are you just trying to look rich? When you think about a rich man's appearance, are you looking at people who are really rich? Or are you looking at people who want to look rich? Which one are you doing? Do you even understand what rich is? We're talking about financially now. We'll get into the other aspects of being rich in a minute. We're talking about financially. Do you even understand what being financially rich is? Do you understand what that means? There's a bunch of people, man, that's doing well financially. A bunch of people. I know quite a few people that are doing well financially. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a couple of, well, not more than a couple, but some millionaires, some. I mean, but you know what? Most of the people I know have new money. New money is different from old money. So when I look at what rich is supposed to look like, I look at old money. Because the one thing about old money and new money don't have no longevity. A bunch of people get new money and end up being broke within 5 or 10 years. Old money, people with old money never go broke again. There's nothing that's going to ever make them go broke again. They've long ago developed the habits to keep that from happening. And once you develop the habits to keep that from happening, it just never happens. You're never going to allow it to happen. You understand what downsizing means. You understand what downgrading means. You understand what budgeting means. You understand what eliminating these things mean. You understand that. You understand how not to live off what you're spending or live off what you're making. The goal is to not have to live off what you earn. The goal is to be situated to where you're living off what you have. And so everything you earn can be allotted to different areas. You understand what I mean? All right, my bro SJ3, man, fell up in here, man. SJ3, salute to you, man. Appreciate the dime. Salute King Ray, the realest of the real. Salute to you, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. So you have to ask yourself that, man, like, do you want to look the part or do you want to live the life? Do you want to worry about how people view you, what people think? And then you have to ask yourself, what quality of people are you concerned with appearing a certain way to? Who are the people that you want to identify with? Because that matters a lot, man. That matters a lot. There's an upward trajectory that certain people have, and then there's a mediocrity that other people have. And if you give both sides money, you can't tell them one from the other until you know what you're looking for. The goal is legitimately to never have to work again. And by work, I don't mean you just sitting at home all day paying man with do dirty. I mean that you're never doing something that seems like work to you. You're never doing. Man, let me tell you something. When you're doing something that doesn't seem like work to you, you have to remind yourself to take the Sabbath day off. Because Lord say, don't do any work with it therein. You're like, but this ain't work to me. But then it's work. It's what you quantify as work. It qualifies as work in your life. But man, we'll sit around and we'll allow ourselves to be so entrenched in societal expectations that we'll be living a life that's totally opposite of what we want to live for a few likes and comments, to fit in with a certain group of people. Let me tell y'all something about fitting in. The only place you truly fit in is to your own life and in the position where you need to be. That's the only place you fit in. If you're not on the mission that God put you here to do, then you're not fitting in. You think you're fitting in. When you're fitting in, you don't have to force your way in. Something that fits, it fits. Let me tell you something. When you go buy a pair of shoes right now, you know your size, you put your foot in, bam. Man, listen, as an adult, you shouldn't even have to go into a store and try a shoe on. Unless you just want to see how it look on your foot. But to try it on to see if it fits, think about that. Think about you're an adult now. You're an adult. You just bought shoes not long ago. You mean to tell me you're buying a pair of shoes and you don't know what size to get? But if you know what size to get, you don't even have to worry about it. It's an easy process. If you get a size too small and you got to force your foot in it, you know it don't fit. If you get a size too big and it's flopping off your foot, you know it doesn't fit. You shouldn't have to worry about that. Anything you fit into, you just wake up and you fit into it. You don't have to force your way into it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make any adjustments to fit where you're supposed to be fitting. You don't have to buy your way into where you're supposed to be fitting. You don't have to cry your way into where you're supposed to be fitting. You don't have to try your way into where you're supposed to be fitting. And you certainly don't have to die your way into where you're supposed to be fitting. This is your life. You were born to live it. If you have to fit into your own life, it is not your life you're living. So you got to ask yourself, if you got to fit into your own life, it's not your life you're living, whose life are you living? Major question for you. Whose life are you living at that point? Whose life are you living? Who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to prove yourself to? Who are you allowing to dictate your path, your direction? Here's another question you got to ask yourself. And this is on the relationship front. Are you really a guy who wants a roster? Or do you truly desire a connection with one woman? Do you truly desire that? Because this thing that all men need multiple, nope, that's not true. There's nothing we can say about all men as far as like what we need as men in the world. There's nothing we can say about all men. So you got to ask yourself, who are you? Are you trying to be this Don Juan when really you just want a one-on-one? Who are you? What are you? Many times we try to fit into a lifestyle that we detest. How are you? Do you know how much of a travesty it is for you to be fitting into a lifestyle that you detest? You secretly detest it, but publicly you're living it like it's the one to live. And also, a lot of times you live a lifestyle as a protection mechanism. A lot of times that lifestyle, that player lifestyle, is a defense mechanism. Because you're afraid of your ability to be able to defend yourself and protect yourself from being in situations you don't want to be in, from being in situations you don't need to be in, from being in situations you know don't benefit you, but you put yourself in that type of circumstance and you can't protect yourself enough to avoid being in those situations. And so what do? You use this as a defense mechanism. They're all this, or they're all that, and they're all like this, and they all believe this, and they all act this way, and they all... Defense mechanism. That's all it is. Or ask yourself this. Are you in a situation where you have that one-on-one relationship with one woman, and you absolutely hate it? It's not the life you want to live. Let me tell y'all something. The goal is to live the life you want to live. People can say what they want to say. Well, you got to answer to God. Yes, all of that is true. But while you're here in this sphere, you better live the life you want to live. Joy and happiness are hard to come by. Many people look happy, but they're not. Many people look like their lives are joyous, but they're not. You want to see if a man is happy? Break him down to his very last compound. Take off all the covers. Take off all the protections and all the defense mechanisms and all those things. Take off everything and strip a man down to his very least compound. Then you get a chance to see if a man truly understands joy and peace of mind. You get a chance to understand that at that point. Because many times, many men are not built like that. They want you to think they are, but they're not built like that. I agree, SJ3, the polyamorous wave is dangerous. That's not what we're put here to be. We're not put here to be because we're not talking about husbands and wives. We're just talking about, a bunch of people to have around. That's not what God put us here to do. He didn't put us here for that. And so you see the results of it. There was a story out about Houston and, the troubling trend of, people, getting these type of infections over there is a troubling trend. But it happens because, like SJ said, people want to live the polyamorous life. Everybody want to just do what they want to do. Everybody wants to make decisions based on what other people think, other people say. Let me tell you something right now. Many people who live those lives, they don't live them out of joy. Many people who live those lives, they don't live them out of satisfaction. Many people who live those lives, they don't live them out of direction. Many people who live those lives, they don't live them out of necessity. Many people who live those lives, they live those lives out of pain. You find me someone that's doing anything in their life that could possibly bring other people emotional pain, they're doing it out of emotional pain. I heard a guy say the other day that if you're a good man, then you tell your wife lies. He opened his mouth and said that if you're a good man, you tell your wife lies. You tell her lies because you love her. If you love your wife, you don't be honest with her. But that's the world we live in, where people say it's better for me to do something secretly and then lie about it than it is for me to do something openly and give you an opportunity to deal with it on your own. These people don't really understand what it means to live a life that God approves of, and they don't care. That's why the circle of men who live godly lives is so small. It's very small because most people don't have the wherewithal to say, okay, there's an opportunity to make money with you, but you live a life that's not pleasing to God, so I can't make money with you. Many people let the opportunity to make money overtake everything. Why? Because they have a lifestyle to support. They have to keep the covers over who they truly are. They have to keep covering themselves with these things so you can't break them down to their very least compound and realize the dissatisfaction they have, not with their lives, but with their inability to make decisions for themselves and do the things that they truly want to do without considering what someone else may want them to do. I'm not saying do things to bring people harm. I'm saying outside of harming people, you live your life the way you want to. Of course, we know we live a life, man, and we keep the statutes and commandments of the Most High to the best of our ability. We're not perfect, but we strive to do it. But so I'm not saying just disregard that either. I'm saying you should never be living a life that makes someone else happier than you, that benefits someone else more than it benefits you, or that gives someone else more peace of mind than you. People can get peace of mind from your decision. People can get happiness from your decision. People can get satisfaction from your decision, but they cannot get more of it than you do. And when you put yourself in that type of situation, you end up being miserable. And you know what you do when you're miserable? You try to hook as many people in to your misery as you can. Why? Because misery does love company. You know the problem. Isn't it funny how we never hear people say, happiness loves company. Peace of mind loves company. Joy loves company. Personal satisfaction loves company. We never hear anybody say that, but we always hear them say misery loves company. Why? Because when you're happy and you're living a joyous life, and you have peace of mind, you really don't even think about other people at all. At all, man. Don Juan Jr., GLG representative, salute, man. Appreciate the dub. OG came across your channel late 2019. Been rocking with BOA since then, and later found King Ray Ray. I want to say thank you for being an example of how blessed you will be allowing God to use you. You've helped change my life. Salute to you, brother. Salute, man. I appreciate it. Man, man, listen, bro. When my autobiography comes out, man, y'all gonna see, man. I'm gonna be an open book. Like I'm gonna share a bunch of things, and y'all will see, man, why I'm so humble about waking up every day and realizing that I still find enough grace in God's sight that He'll use me for this, bruh. There's people who have fewer blemishes on their record than me. You know what I'm saying? There's people who have fewer lines that they've crossed in their life than me. But the fact that God still looks at me and sees just enough benefit in me doing this to still use me as a vessel, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's a humbling experience. It humbles me to the point where I can't do it for the money. It humbles me to the point where I can't do it and make the money and then show the money in weird ways. I can't do that. You understand? I can't do this mission for God and then try to pop up and live a rap persona. Well, I look like a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I'm draped up and dripped out like a rapper. I'm pulling up in all these different whips like a rapper. And I can't do it, man. I can't do it. There's too much godliness attached to this. So for me, it feels better for me to just pop on the dashiki. You know what I'm saying? That fits it better for me. So salute to you, brother. Salute. All right, man. So look, the next question is this. You got to ask yourself. And this is for all the church folk. Are you a Christian or just following the historical religious rhetoric of those before you? Are you truly trying to live a life that connects you to God? Because if you do, you'll find out a bunch of things about the path you're going. See, we can't act like we live a life that's pleasing to God. And then we still going out on the weekend, partying and drinking and clubbing and living a polyamorous life and all of that. We can't do that. You can't act like you're living a godly life and then turn around and let me tell you, that's how a pastor will get you. He'll go in the pulpit, man, and throw the word at you back and forth, up and down, man. But here's the thing. Never listen to the words of a man. Look at that man's life and see how he's living his life. How is he living his life? How is he living his life? And you may not be able to tell how somebody living their life online. You may not be able to tell. But in your real life, you can tell. And online, on social media, eventually it comes out. And you have to understand, man, you have to live your life the way that you know God would have you live your life. You got to make a decision. Either you're going to live the life of the world and you're going to do all the things and enjoy all the things and have all the thrills and all the chills and all the shrills, and you're going to have all of that. That's on you if you want to have all of that. You can go in the world and have the thrills, or you can roll with the Most High and have him as a shield. It's up to you. It don't really matter to me. I'm not telling anyone what to do, but I'm saying you got to ask yourself, are you truly a godly person, or are you just going through the motions and following historical religious rhetoric of those before you? Are you living your life however you want to be, and then you run up and bust open the doors of the church on Sunday? And then you think you get a new start. I'm talking about, man, running amok in the street. And then every Sunday you get a fresh start. Is that how you live in your life? Are you telling people that this and that and this and that, and then look at your life and you're not doing the same thing? Who are you? Are you doing things because you think you should, or are you spiritually connected to the truth? Are you spiritually connected to the Most High in a way that lets you know the path you should be going, that lets you believe the path you should be going, that lets you achieve the place you should be going? Man, listen, there's a thin line between living a life that's pleasing to God and being a religious fraud. There's a thin line, because you can play the part where they can't tell you apart. But the bottom line is, what are the results of your life? What are the results of your life? It's kind of like simple things, man. Listen, bro, you cannot be a godly man eating pork, because the Spirit of God ain't going to dwell in your body when it's defiled by pork and all the other stuff. That's why the dietary laws are so important. The Spirit of God will not reside in you if you are putting pork into your body, if you are putting seafood into your body, if you are putting any of that stuff into your body. Don't be talking like you have a tight relationship with the Most High, because you don't. I know you don't. Everybody knows you don't. You don't have a tight relationship with the Most High. Stop lying to yourself. And these are the type of things that we have to ask ourselves, because this is a very important question, because it determines if you truly care about living a life that's pleasing to God. Man, most people don't care. Most people don't care nothing about you talking about God or spirituality or none of that. They don't care about none of that, because they just put it all in one big box and say, I don't do no religion, and throw it all away. And then they just live whatever life they want to live. But is that you, or is it not? You got to ask yourself that. Trainer Smooth. Appreciate Two Bones. Stay blessed, brother. Salute, Doc. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate you. Next question we got to ask ourselves, and this is a very serious question. Looking at your life right now, how satisfied are you with what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're prepared to do? The path you've traveled so far, the path you're on now, and the path you see yourself traveling moving forward. How satisfied are you? Because if a lot of times people aren't satisfied with their lives, what do? They go buy a lot of stuff. They go do a lot of things. People are miserable in their careers. They hate their jobs. So what do? They make good money doing it. So they buy stuff to justify actually allowing themselves to live a life they hate. Let me tell y'all something, brother. And this is real. I would literally rather make $30,000 a year doing this than to make $100,000 a year doing something else. It may sound crazy. I said this before, man. I had somebody say, man, I must be lying. I must be lying. But see, these people aren't connected to the peace of mind aspect of life. They don't understand where the peace comes from. All they understand is make more, buy more. They don't understand the thrill that comes with waking up loving what you do every day. I'm not talking about liking it and being okay with it or it being the best thing compared to everything else or other things you've done. I'm talking about loving what you do every day. To the point where you can do it every day. Every day, all day if you had to. You got to ask yourself that. How satisfied are you with your life? And then you got to be honest with yourself and tell yourself, I'm not very satisfied with it. There are some things that I need to do differently. And if you have things you need to do differently, I say, start doing them differently today. You can't do them yesterday, and you better not wait till tomorrow. If it's on your mind now to start doing things better, do them better today. Why wait? How is waiting going to benefit you? How is doing this some other time going to benefit you? What do you have to do today that's so important that you can't start today? You need to get the rest of it out your system, right? It's kind of like people who get ready to go on a diet and then they say, well, I'm going to eat this last cake and ice cream and this pie and these cookies and these Jolly Ranchers. I'm going to eat these right quick before I go on a diet. I'll start the diet tomorrow. That's not how life works. The moment you know better, you have to do better. You know, there's a saying, when you know better, you do better. That doesn't apply to everyone. When you know better, you should do better. So when you know better, you do better immediately. Know better 1 minute, the next moment you do better. That's how you progress through life. So you got to ask yourself, when you know better, do you just do better suddenly? Or are you wasting time? Are you playing around saying, I'll do it later. I'll do it some other time. There'll come a time when I'll do it. It'll be better if I do it later. Is that what you're telling yourself? Because if you're telling yourself you're a time waster. And nothing ever comes to a time waster except less time. Nothing else ever comes. And when you realize that you don't even know how much time you have, how are you going to waste time? You don't even know how much time you have. You know what I'm saying? It's like constantly swiping your debit card and you don't know how much in your account. Last time you checked, it was $1,000 in there, but then you just spent $800 2 days ago, and then you spent another $150, and now you going somewhere and you about to spend $200 that you ain't got in your account. Why? Because you ain't checking it. You just think that you can just go spend all willy-nilly. You think that you can waste something that you don't know that you don't know how much of it you have. You get laid off. Look at during COVID. During COVID, before the PPP loan, man, there were people, man, who worked in businesses like gyms and nail salons and barber shops and hair salons. And man, those people, man, they had no idea when their next money was coming. So imagine them just balling out. Imagine them, oh, COVID is here. I got to sit at home all day. Let me buy me a brand new car. Imagine that. Couch One, New York. Man, even having just enough money to survive, but not having to be at a job for a set time every day is one of the best gifts. Man, it's one of the best gifts. The freedom. See, here's the thing about freedom. Life is about more than making money. Yes, making money is good, but once you get as much as you need to live with, and you get enough to invest and save, then what else is the rest of it? If you got to go out and grind super hard every day to just get more and more and more and more, there's more to life than that. Like, when do you do the other things? Like, when man, there's people who don't even have time to read a book. They be going so hard. They got to listen to their books. Everybody you hear talking about they listen to their book, they don't listen to the book because they like to listen to books. A lot of these people don't have time to read. You're not going to make time to read. Imagine me not making time for fishing, bro. Imagine me going so hard that when that early spring, late winter hit, I don't have time to go out there in that water and test to see if them crappie biting. Because the big ones bite first. The big ones spawn first. Imagine me not having time to go out there and I miss the whole crappie season because I'm working so hard. But that might happen if you got to get up every day and do something that you hate, or you got to get up and do something that takes so much of your time that you hate how much of your time it takes. There are people who don't hate their job, but their job takes so much of their time that they don't have time to do other things. Think about the parent who doesn't have time to spend time with their kids because they work so hard. So they got to buy stuff all the time because they don't have enough time. I'm telling you, bro. K-Labs, appreciate the super sticker, brother. Appreciate it. Now, the next question that you must ask yourself, this is also another big one. Are the people you call friends really your friends? Are the people you call friends really your friends? Or do you just fear being lonely so much that you rather have anybody around instead of having nobody around? And when I say anybody, I do mean anybody. You rather have anybody around than to have nobody around. So are they really friends? Are these your boys over here for real? Is this your people right here for real? Do they have your back for real? I was looking at discussion, man, and I think it was Young Rap. I think it was Mo3. He was talking about, he was doing an interview, and he was talking about how when he was down bad, so all his partners, they were getting money. They had nice whips, they had nice cribs, they were getting money, they were driving fly. He was still living at home with his mom. Say, not once did anybody help him out, and did anybody offer anything. And so the discussion was, should they even offer? Closed mouth, don't get fed. Man, let me tell you something. If you my people and I see you doing bad, I'm going to offer you an opportunity. Now, I'm not saying tell you that you could just rely on me to pay your bills for you. I ain't telling you that. I'm saying I'm going to offer you an opportunity because I see you need it. You understand? And if I do give you something, I'm going to offer you an opportunity to earn it back, to earn it, because that's what a man does. A man wants to earn what he gets. And so even if someone gives him something, he feels guilty because he didn't earn it. And so that's what I'm going to do. But there are people who will look around and they look at you and it makes them feel better about themselves to not be on your level. You fall off, the people that don't fall off, man, they don't care about it. They love to see it. They're looking at you like, all right, man, you're not a part of this crew no more. So if your friendships are based on anything other than just commonalities and personality and outlooks and all of those things, if it's based on anything materialistic, bro, you don't have friends. So you got to ask yourself, are those people your friends? Or are they frenemies? Are they your friends? There's no need to stay aligned with a group you don't belong in, because you're never going to be truly aligned. Yes, you can be a part of it as long as you benefit in the group, but they don't even like you. You know how many people have friends that don't even like them? Think about the amount of people who are around people every day who don't like them. It's crazy out here, man. It's crazy. So I say this, man, in closing this thing out, man. We've been in here almost an hour, man. I say this in closing it out. This was supposed to be a King Ray Ray joint, man, but I messed up and put it up on the BOA channel. So cool. We'll just let it rock. I want you to understand to be aggressive with your dreams, goals, and ambitions, and only have things in your life that benefit the process of progress that you need in those situations. That's what I want y'all to do, man. And I want y'all to remember that. Give it your best. Be aggressive with it. I'm talking about go hard. They say go hard. I say be aggressive. Be aggressive with your dreams, goals, and ambitions. And don't ever stop with them. Don't ever stop. Even if you haven't gotten where you want to get yet, don't stop. Even if you're running into some bumps in the road, don't stop. You run into the bumps in the road, just go through them. Your vehicle may be a little damaged, but it's gonna keep rolling. Just go through them. You built for this, and your mode of transportation up this path is built for it as well. You may be a little tattered and battered when you get to the end of it, but when you get to the end, you're gonna have time to heal. That's where your healing time comes in when you get to the end. Self-love is the answer. God love is the key. GC, SJ3. Peace. GLG. Salute. Alpha Sphere. Kingdom of Ray. Number love for y'all, man. We out of here. Peace.